Welcome to the Assist Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Schwartz, and joining me today for his second appearance on the Assist Podcast is Salvador Corona. Salvador,
hey guys, what's up? You? I'm good. How are you, Zach? I'm back again to be on Zach's podcast. Talk about something a little different this time around than the usual that I would do.
Yes, and to that point, we are both Apple men.
Yeah, I would say that. I'm an Apple whore, if you could put it that way.
I think I have 3 or 4 products easily.
Yeah,
MacBook, phone, AirPods.
Yeah, I think I have everything except...
I don't have an iPad.
I don't have an iPad. I have the watch. I have the AirPods.
Mm-hmm.
I even have that stupid HomePod that I've used 3 times. It was cool. It was cool. It's cool. Honestly, the quality of the speaker is really good, but maybe next year at our town home.
Yeah, we'll make it
for those of you who don't know, we'll be living together, Zachary and
officially,
I.
Right?
Officially, it's official.
We have the location. We don't have the address yet. We'll have to. Well, we do.
we do. I just don't know it.
We're not going to give it out yet.
We probably will never give it out.
We'll never give it out to the public. But yeah, it's official, so that'll be a lot of fun. But like you said, we're talking about some corporate kind of stuff today. 2 big business events happening over the last couple of weeks. Apple, I guess, I don't know, they call it their yearly summit, I guess.
Yeah, because they have 2. They have the one in the fall where they announce their iPhone and other products, and they have their one around the springtime where they, I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's where they announce their services and stuff at that matter, but yeah. Okay,
and I feel like this is a cool one to do because of that. I mean, they announced some pretty big things.
Yeah.
And also the Disney and Fox merger went live this past week, so we'll talk about that as well. Talk a little bit of Google, because Google's kind of just sitting here. I don't know. I'm not sure what they're doing.
Waiting to make a move.
Maybe they're doing something. Who knows? But to start things off, Apple had their big service announcement, as you said, and there is an Apple Card coming.
Yeah, there is. Right, so when I saw this, I was like, okay, this is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked into it, and obviously, the big thing that everybody talks about, how it's they're pushing it to be more of an Apple Pay kind of thing. So even though they do have a physical card, they don't really want you to use the physical card. They want you to do everything through your phone and use Apple Pay and push Apple Pay. And they're trying to get more stores to be compatible with Apple Pay and stuff like that. But they do have their physical card that you can use for places that don't have Apple Pay, and it's a very interesting card because it has no numbers, no expiration date, no nothing, no signature, and the main reason why they did this was for security reasons, because they didn't want someone snapping a picture or taking your card information and using that.
Right.
But so for that reason, if they could still use it if they have your physical card, I guess, which that also they did for security reasons, but I don't really, because there's nothing on the card, so if someone takes it, how do they...
Yeah, it's not like a debit card. Like a credit card, you can just right away call and you're like, hey, these charges are from this state, this is ridiculous, can we get rid of this? And I feel like it's pretty easy to work that out, so I'm not... It's kind of funny that Apple now cares about security.
Yeah.
It's very funny when these giant corporations suddenly care about security. I thought it was interesting, especially because it's partnered with Goldman Sachs, which is huge. Yeah. I guess it's an interesting concept. I haven't really used Apple Pay before either, so I guess I'm behind in that sense.
I've used Apple Pay a few times, and it's cool. It's like any other pay that you can use through your phone. I don't know, it's like Google Pay and all the other stuff.
Okay.
I think it's nothing. I mean, it's cool because it's convenient. It's all on your phone, and you don't have to pull out your wallet. But I think what Apple's doing here, I looked a little bit more into it regarding the whole service they're providing, and even though there is no numbers on their physical card, if for some reason you're making an online purchase and you do need to access numbers and expiration date and all this stuff, through the wallet app you can access a number. So there is a number assigned to your credit card. So a lot of people don't know that, but there is a number, but it just won't
on the card.
And they don't really want you to use it because, like I said, they're pushing for Apple Pay, so they want you to use the websites that have Apple Pay already, so it makes it easier for that reason. But it's really cool. The thing they're doing with this card is everything's on your phone. It's very instant. Any charge that you make through the card is easily on your phone, on your app. It goes to there, and different stuff they're implementing, daily cash, which is their version of rewards. Okay. So many credit card companies have a reward that you get 1%, 2%, or 3% back. And theirs is called Daily Cash, which is instant. Instead of getting a reward like in a month, you'll get the reward instantly through something called Daily Cash.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And it's still the same kind of like 2% thing, just daily.
Yeah, I didn't look right into that, but I think it's like it's 3% if you use Apple Pay directly or something like that.
I see. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Are you gonna get a card?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get a card.
I don't think I will. I just don't. I have one credit card now, and I feel like that is sufficient for my current purchases.
I just want to get it to have it. Like I said, I'm an Apple whore, so like
you have to
anything Apple, I want to get it. And like looking at it, like the financial or like the business background of it, it's very interesting what they're doing, and the fact that the card itself is kind of curated by each person. So there's no fees on the card, and there is an interest rate, but that kind of is set by you. So depending on how much you spend and how much you want to pay each month, that's how your interest rate works.
That makes sense.
You can on the actual like phone on the app, you can play around with the numbers and see like, oh, I want to pay this much this month, and then it'll tell you how your interest rate will change.
Interesting.
And if you don't want an interest rate, you can just pay full every month. So then there is no interest rate and there's no fees. And then the other really cool thing that I like about it is the customer service, because I don't know if you have to deal with like credit card companies and customer service.
I haven't too much yet.
I don't know. It's for depending on what credit card company you have, it could be a pain in the ass. But through Apple, like through their app, you can easily, as like if you're texting someone, you can text them like, this charge that just went on my card, I was like, I don't know, I didn't mean to do it or something like that. You can just text them and you'll get a response immediately.
Interesting.
So that's cool.
I didn't know that. Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. That would certainly help. Yeah, I won't get one, but it's certainly out of these couple things we're going to talk about with Apple, this was certainly the biggest kind of new thing they're doing, the innovative piece of it, at least. I know Goldman Sachs, I read, was going to provide them with a lot of analytic data, which is, I guess, good for Apple. More data, the better. The next thing they also announced was this Apple Arcade, which is like this gaming subscription.
I don't really know much of it, so maybe you can talk about it.
I looked into it, and it seems like it's almost like they're boosting the App Store away with the gaming subscription and making exclusive games across all these different devices.
So is it kind of like a great gaming subscription service where it's like stuff on phones, or can you?
Yeah, I think it's apps. So like I don't think, based on my understanding, it's not like they're going head to head with Sony for PS4 or Xbox with Microsoft. Like I don't think that's the level they're hitting. I think they're just trying to get after Google Play and that kind of stuff. I think that's the level, if that makes sense. So I figured we'd spend the least amount of time on this one because I was like, I don't really know much. I mean, it's there. I guess they're kind of promoting it alongside these couple things.
Yeah, I feel like this one will be a hit or miss for them. Not a lot of people really care about a gaming subscriction service.
Parents might get it for their 3-year-olds, I guess, now on their iPads. I don't know. Certainly one that's bigger. Apple TV Plus.
Yes, this one's
brand
huge.
New.
It's huge.
This is So,
it's been long awaited too. Like they've hinted at it for a few years ago.
So there's Apple TV already.
Yes.
Which gives you, for the listeners, gives you access to a lot of different channels and stuff like that through your streaming stuff, kind of. Correct?
It's more like a device where you can access these different services that are not directly related to Apple.
Got it. So now this is a giant level up for them.
Yeah.
Basically, Apple TV Plus, it's coming in the fall, although we don't have a price yet and that kind of stuff. Yeah. This is meant more to go head-to-head with the Netflixes and Hulus of the world. So you think a price range around there. With that being said, there's original programming, including a big new show from Steve Carell, Jennifer Aniston, hosting together. Oprah is going to be involved, apparently, based on my reading. A lot of other directors are signed up to produce original projects. And then the subscriptions to different channels and stuff like that. So it's almost combining like Netflix and Sling, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, that's what I kind of got off of it. So they're going to be providing their original content and having other stuff, and also providing channels through like add-on subscriptions that you can add on from the original content. But what I think you hinted at it like outside of this podcast too, how they, instead of them going into like creating their own kind of thing, they're doing their own thing with the original programming, but they're also bringing these like other services in. Like you can add on DirecTV, or you can add on like Hulu to your subscription of Apple TV Plus, which is very interesting. I don't quite know how they're going to do that.
Right. Yeah, so I know we talked a little bit before we knew we were going to do this episode, and I kind of mentioned that, okay, so there's the original programming piece, which almost, it seems like every company has at this point. Every major company, whether it's Disney, Google, which we'll get to with YouTube TV, which I forgot about, Hulu, Netflix, etc. I wonder just how, because usually Apple, and we talked about it with the Apple Card, they're innovators.
Yeah.
They do this thing. This, to me, screams as much as, oh, Apple TV Plus, this brand new big thing, when really they're just taking, essentially, their version of Netflix, which is their originals, Apple originals, whatever they come up with, and kind of just smushing it into the rest of cable channels people care about, and presenting it as a new product, which is weird.
Yeah.
In the sense of Apple's usually, focused innovation, what's next. And you could even say that if they wanted to be this big organization that is getting away from tech and into this content area, that they almost missed it by a couple years, and now they're kind of playing catch up.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head with that. They're trying to play catch up. So there's a lot of companies are way ahead of them in this aspect. So instead of them trying to create something, that's why I feel like they took a long time to announce it, because they didn't really know how to make it in a different, innovative, new idea. So they're like, let's just kind of have our original programming and let's use these other things that are already stable and bring them to us. So
yeah, because even Amazon now, a couple years ago, has Amazon Prime TV now with original content and that kind of stuff. So they went from a retailer really into this space. Disney's always been in the film space, but now they're doing their Disney Plus this fall as well. So it's an interesting timing there. And I bet many of the details, I wonder if Apple has these details figured out. We don't know a lot about this. They just don't want to share it because of Disney, I think.
Because, the pricing and stuff like that, that really interests me, because I know they're adding live TV, which is kind of my big push through getting a streaming service. Because even though I do watching the original content here and there, on Netflix and other services like that, I really care for the live sports and the live TV.
We're the same.
Yeah, so that's why I want to see how they're going to do that and how they're going to price it to make it competitive but also reasonable. I know a lot of services, right? Hulu has live sports, and there's these tons of services that are even DirecTV has their DirecTV now,
right?
And then
ESPN Plus,
all that stuff,
extra add-ons.
So I think in a way, all these different streaming services, like you said, they have their own original content, and now they're adding live TV. But the only one that hasn't done that is Netflix. I don't know if you've
right.
So I don't know if Netflix is slowly gonna get pushed off to the side if people actually care about live TV in there, because Netflix has always stayed away from integrating live TV into their service. They're always been oh, we want to push original content and our original programming, but a lot of companies are creating their own streaming services. So not only are they Netflix losing from Disney's taking away some other movies, and Disney's taking away stuff from Netflix. So at this point, can they really just live off strictly original content?
There's certainly, I know Sophia and I talked about it a month or so ago, they're certainly pushing in that direction. And they've had hits from it.
They have.
As Disney's kind of gone away. And it'll be interesting because, as with most business things, I know you and I aren't necessarily, well, you're a business management minor. Or double major, sorry, I can't remember.
Double major.
There we go, my bad. Shortchanging you there. And my dad and I have talked about this before from the marketing world. There seems to be, now it's so easy to produce content. I mean, look at us.
Yeah.
We're sitting here in a dorm room with a microphone and a laptop up with our notes, and we're going to put this out tomorrow, and however many people are going to listen to it. It's so easy to do that now in this age of the internet streaming, technology prices have gone down. And when you have these massive companies, you're talking about Apple, Disney, Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, etc., HBO, that at this point, I wonder, and I mentioned this to you before too, I wonder if we're going to hit this oversaturation point. Because from my point of view, like you said, I like a lot of live sports too. That's my main thing. I don't watch too much content. I watch a lot of Disney stuff because I love Marvel. I like the superhero kind of stuff. But in terms of original shows and stuff like that, I don't really watch a lot of them. And everyone probably has their 3 or 4 favorite genres that they'll watch. You know, a Netflix original comes out. Oh, great. I think there's a new action movie, Triple Frontier, with Ben Affleck and Oscar Isaac. I'll probably check out because I like action movies. That's my kind of thing. So I just wonder where this is going in the sense of that we have so much of this now. You can find, if you want this specific show about this thing with this actor, you probably can find it already because one of these 6 companies has done that. So I wonder if at some point we're going to hit an oversaturation of this stuff because Apple's not a content company. They're a tech company.
They are.
Amazon's a retailer. Disney is a content.
More creation,
They've grown into this giant conglomerate, which we're going to talk about in a second. And then you have Netflix that kind of started off as a small, plucky business, and then now has grown into this giant thing capable of producing its own stuff and being able to survive without Disney support. So I just wonder if we're going to hit a point where we're so much content now, and then we're going to contract. And who contracts from where? I don't know. For instance, Hulu is now majority owned by Disney.
It is. Like, was that 60%?
Mm-hmm. So Disney had 30%, Fox had 30%, now Disney has 60%. What does Disney do with Hulu? That's a question.
Exactly.
So now that Disney owns a lot of 20th century Fox stuff, what happens there? What happens with YouTube TV? What happens with HBO and Showtime and, like you said, Netflix? I'm not sure, but it's interesting that these people are getting into this content and seeing how there's going to be some that fail. I don't know if it's going to be Apple. I don't know if it's going to be Netflix. I don't know if it'll be Hulu. But people, I don't know if they'll go out of business, but they're definitely going to have to shift gears a little bit. And maybe each one kind of does their own specific type of thing. And almost, Netflix kind of has a feel to it now, I think, which is the big thing. Between Black Mirror, Bandersnatch, a lot of their other stuff, a lot of their shows kind of have this feel of, you know, this can't be on TV. This is a little social boundary questions, that kind of stuff. So I wonder if, you know, if Hulu gets their own feel, like people who have a Hulu subscription, you know, really like that stuff. So I wonder if that's where we're going.
Yeah, it's obviously something to think about, and I think we will hit that point of oversaturation. But I think with that, these companies are going to adapt and they're going to turn into something else. Like Hulu right now, they have more than just original content. They have other stuff that they provide to attract people. But I feel like in a few years from now, when there is like oversaturation, they're going to turn more into like of a network. And like they're going to create their own original programming and not provide like these other stuff. It's just going to be strictly Netflix producing this original content, and it's just going to be that. Kind of like what some networks are already like on TV.
Yeah, like so you're saying like the Netflix original wouldn't even exist. They'll just all be Netflix original.
I think that's where
I understand that. Yeah, certainly. Because I know right now I have Hulu and I'm watching Smallville, which is a CW property. Yeah. So it's not even the same thing at all. So let's talk about Disney a bit. We've hinted at this a lot. The Disney 20th Century Fox merger, the purchase was so big, it's not a straight buy, it's a merger. Went live on March 20th finally after clearing the antitrust government, which $71.3 billion, up from the original $52 billion after Comcast was like, hey, we want Fox. So Disney went through, purchased that. Disney now owns 20th Century Fox, 73% of National Geographic, which I didn't even know.
I didn't even know.
And the additional 30% of Hulu, like we said, giving Disney the majority ownership in Hulu. And more important to me than you is that they own Marvel characters now, including the Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom, and the X-Men. And then they also own the FX TV network. And there are a couple other things in other countries, such as networks in India and such, that became live with this deal. This is massive. This is on the scale of, I believe it was, the AT&T and Time Warner merger a couple years ago. It's truly, and this is almost all content, truly from a content standpoint. As we know, Disney is creating Disney Plus. It's been announced. It's coming out in the fall. Fox has a lot of TV stuff that'll be huge from them to fill up their library with there. And obviously, from a pure film standpoint, a lot more of the Marvel characters, all but basically Spider-Man, who's still with Sony, most of the time anyway, back for those movies that just churn out billions and billions of dollars, like clockwork.
Yeah, I think this is huge. like they acquired a lot of content, a lot of rights to certain like specific stuff that Fox owned, and I think it's going to be big for Disney in many aspects. Like even in their parks, they're going to be allowed to put out more stuff that they didn't own before, and even pushing for what they wanted to do with their like Disney TV Plus, where they're going to be able to provide more stuff for their subscribers through the content that Fox owns. So I think in a way that's what they care about more. Like being able to have this only on their service and taking it away from the other services.
Right. I think Disney Plus is almost a must-have at this point for whether you're sharing it like you do Netflix, which I may or may not be doing. But I think it's almost, like you can pick and choose the other ones, but because here they haven't necessarily announced what's going to be on Disney Plus. They've announced a couple things, for instance, a couple superhero shows. They've announced a couple things, but they haven't announced exactly what's going to be on it. But a lot of people don't know this, but I'm going to run through what else Disney owns, including all the stuff I just said now. Disney owns ABC. ABC owns ESPN. Disney owns Marvel completely. Disney owns Lucasfilm. And Disney obviously has all their parks. I don't think I'm missing any big ones from the content standpoint, but just to run that through, that's ESPN, which is all the 30 for 30s, all the ESPN original content, all this. I don't know if they'll do like sports highlights on there too, but at least the thing I would want to see if they announce that they're having the 30 for 30 movies on Disney Plus, I mean, I'm in.
Getting it
I'm
for
sorry.
Sure, yeah.
That's the line right there. Because it's like, okay, Marvel movies, I have a lot of them already. It's like, okay, Disney Plus, we're in. Or the 30 for 30. So that, and then Star Wars, obviously, it's pretty big.
And I think what's also interesting that a lot of people are going to gravitate towards Disney Plus is I'm sure Disney will have a lot of their Disney classic movies on there.
Exactly.
So that are not like on Netflix or the others. They're going to put them on there. Or even their like old like nostalgic Disney TV shows.
Right.
That are not nowhere
so that
to be
stuff
found.
I don't care about, but you're right. They can put it on there.
Like in a lot of people that are going to even it's going to hit every single generation with if they do end up putting this on their service, because a lot of people love this stuff and are like emotionally attached to it. If they do it, it's like a given that it's going to take over.
Yeah, I know, for instance, Katie and I, so if they put on, Katie loves the princess stuff, like you said. Her favorite's Mulan. So all that stuff, you put that on there. Her and I are both giant Marvel fans. I mean, we're freaking out about this Endgame stuff, as you know. You see the group text and you're like, I don't care.
I don't even know what that is. I know, like, to you Marvel fans, that's like the best thing ever. Like, you're freaking out, like, content to freak over for days. So we have that in common. Then I'm the sports side. I'm the diehard ESPN guy who, like I said, loves those different movies and content areas. So you put all that together, and that equals a Disney Plus subscription. Yeah. And that's what they're going for. And it's almost that Disney at this point can, from their library of content that they now own, they could hit anyone, I feel like, whether you're age 3, whether you're age 75. I feel like there would be one thing to check out. And of course, that one thing doesn't necessarily mean a subscription. But that's the universality that they're going to have. Exactly, especially with them acquiring Fox, because there's a lot of... I think Fox is more like adult-friendly, I would say. Like it's more for the older generation, so that have like some... even their animation, some stuff that that's more for like adult-friendly.
Yes, certainly.
So I feel like that's big too, because like you said, it's gonna hit everybody now.
Yeah.
Because before then, even just Disney like having their Marvel that attracts so many types of people. But other than that, like what could Disney have that attracts many generations? But them like acquiring Fox and different type of content that they're getting from that, it's probably big.
Because the Marvel movies are largely family friendly as well. They haven't done anything close to the rated R, and that. To that point, they now have characters like Deadpool and Wolverine that have done R-rated things. So if they want to go in that direction and get that extra audience, they certainly could. So last thing we'll wrap up here is that Google is massive, obviously. They're also one of these giant corporations. And I feel like we've talked, Apple's been making moves. Amazon just built their second headquarters, or selected their site for their second headquarters. Disney's doing this merger, and Google's almost chilling. Yeah,
they've been chilling because they have their own things going on, like their Google Play, whatever. They have their stuff, but yeah, like as of recent, all these streaming services coming out, and Google just kind of chilling. But like I brought up earlier, like that I didn't even realize they own YouTube, which is huge. YouTube is huge. In a way, that's kind of a known original content with all like the different creators that are like YouTube stars that I even follow many YouTube stars that are you can't see anywhere else. Yeah. So I think maybe that's why they've been chilling, because they kind of have that. So we're like,
and I think also part of it is that I don't think they necessarily feel the need to go in here.
Yeah.
Like we said, Disney, this makes sense. They're a content creator. Apple's putting a little bit of a risk here doing that. Google can just sit back and chill. And even Amazon, we talk about they have Prime TV, but there's not a ton on there. It's not their main thing, obviously. They make a lot of different... They've been making more progress in artificial intelligence and the drone type of things to be able to deliver packages, stuff like that. So I think if Google could just really sit back and let it come to them. Like you said, YouTube is almost a self-creating thing in a way. Like
it's a thing of their own, and like I don't think any other company will be able to touch that, because it's kind of like all these like different creators on YouTube that reaches a huge audience, at any type of audience, like anybody watches YouTube videos, so they're kind of doing their thing of their own, and as long as nobody reaches into that topic, they're just going to be chilling,
where it's just pure unfiltered videos, and they make their own stardom almost. YouTube makes its own stars rather than having contracts.
And they have YouTube TV, I don't know if you know this, which is it's like a live TV service as well.
Okay.
I think it's like $40 a month. And it's
that's a lot.
But you could get like anything you get on like a cable.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it's
not.
Yeah. So it comes with like, it's not just their like content creators. It's more more of getting like the networks, like the ABCs, the NBCs, all this stuff.
I understand.
That's what the $40 provides you. So they have that going for them, which is not direct. Like, I mean, Google owns YouTube, but it's not like Google in front of that. You know?
Right. I understand. Yeah, we have a lot of choices here for our cable package.
Yeah, I wish Apple would have just come out with a price. Many people are like, you waited this long to announce it, and then you said, okay, it's coming in the fall, but we still don't have a price, and we still kind of don't have everything figured out. So
yeah, Apple's just, I have a feeling it's going to be very pricey. Yeah. It just usually is with Apple. And obviously, like you and I have said, we have no issue going ahead and giving the money to Apple for these products. But once again, there's like I said, there's so much on the market right now.
So many choices.
But wow, that was invigorating business.
It's a good talk. I feel like we'll have to kind of come back to this maybe in the fall and figure out where everything's at. But
we can share our decision of the decision that our house goes to.
What we made up with, what service we decided to go. I feel like we'll end up having like 3 different services to subscribe to.
Definitely Disney, definitely Netflix, and I mean, if I have Spotify, I have Hulu. So there we go. Man, and we will not give out our address.
No,
still,
we won't.
Probably not.
So we'll never give out our address.
Never. Sal, thank you for coming on again.
Of course, it's a pleasure. Anytime. I love doing this.
That touches my heart.
All right, see you guys.
Thank you for listening to the Assist Podcast. If you like the show, go drop a 5-star rating. That really helps us keep the show going. If you want to stay updated with all of the podcast episodes, hit the subscribe button, and also go follow our Twitter, which is @assist_podcast, and our Instagram, which is now the Assist Podcast. And you can write any emails, any suggestions you have to theassistpod@yahoo.com, and we'll see you next week.